Hey, I'm Dante,
And hey, I'm Dana.
and welcome to the Dante Show.
What's up, Village? It's your boy Kwame, the man with the plan behind the stands. Before we get into it, do me a favor. If you are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, hit that share button so people can see what the fuss is all about. Don't worry if it's the end of the show, they can catch the replay. We're trying to spread the love instead of spreading the lies, y'all. Alright, let's get into it. Did you know that our boy Dante Morrison is a best-selling author? Do you like smut? Yes, smut. Well, these books are filled with it. Check out The End of the Rainbow, followed by the sequel, Yesterday Clarified. You can get them on Amazon, or if you are tired of giving Jeff Bezos the time of day, you can visit www.dantemorrison.com, where, in fact, you will find out more about the motivational, inspirational, hilarious host known as Dante, Mr. Morrison if you're nasty. He is not only the host of TDS, he is a public health advocate, motivational speaker, and community change agent. Articles, interviews, blogs, podcasts, vlogs, and more. You name it, and Dante has done it. Speaking of vlogs, have you subscribed to the Dante Show YouTube? Now, every villager should be subscribed. The more the channel grows, the bigger TDS messaging becomes. It's really simple. Go to www.youtube.com/Dante Morrison. And also, did you want to be a guest on the Dante Show? Or do you want to book Donta or Dana on your platform? Stop. Don't inbox him, don't email him, or even call him. You know what you need to do? Go ahead and open your handy-dandy smartphone or Wi-Fi enabled device and send an email to info@pyromedianetwork.com and request your presence on the show. It's 2021, y'all, and Donta and Dana has got management. So, let's conduct business. Speaking of management, the Dante Show is produced by Pyro Media Network. We are a Black-owned digital marketing and video production agency helping businesses and brands make an impact with their message. We also help businesses navigate what we call the biggest communication shift in over 500 years, social media. So, if you have a business, brand, or influence and you want to take it to the next level, contact us today. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you on the next. Boom.
No, you're going to do. Hey, welcome to the Dante Show. It is Tuesday night, and we are here with you. Yet
Always
again.
arguing.
We are back. I am the host of the show, Dante Morrison, and right next to me is the phenomenal person that I call my friend, my brother, my partner in crime, my sidekick, the incomparable Dana Dane.
I'm his friend today, but you should have just heard what he said about me earlier. He talked about my mama,
ladies,
all of that. Okay.
So we are here. So as you gather in for another round of the Dante Show, we are excited to have you back. Hopefully you are excited as we are. If you did not see last night's show, please check out last night's show. It was a beast. It was a blast. We have phenomenal conversation. As we're going to get ready for tonight's show, we're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about marriage and how marriage looks nowadays in comparison to how marriage was back in yesteryear. We got a special guest, Brian Reveals, who's going to hop on in a few minutes, and we're going to really dissect and unpack this thing called marriage. So if you are an avid Dante Show watcher, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Make sure to check us out on YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. But let's get into it. As you know, every single episode we highlight a black icon because the Dante Show is all about being black, bleeding black, black 24/7. We love being black every single day of the week. Yes, I'm 100% black. Are you?
Are you? Oh. See what I'm saying, guys?
I'm just saying.
See what I'm saying? All of that for no reason. Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Dude, come on, man.
So let's get into it. If we are freezing, I am sorry. It's my wife. I gotta get this Wi-Fi fixed. You know, Spectrum is no joke. It could be you because you freeze at your house, then you come to my house and you freeze. So maybe you are the coldest winter ever. Maybe you're the reason why we keep freezing. Hey, Pam. Hey, Keisha. So without further ado, let's get into our Black History Spotlight. You know how we do. Kwame, we are in your hands.
Hey, man, we got to stay united.
So Black History Month ain't over, and tonight we are highlighting the iconic couple, Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee. Listen, they were married in 1948, and they were known for their groundbreaking roles in American film, theater, and television, as well as their fierce support of racial equality and activism throughout the civil rights era. During the 1960s, Dee and Davis played pivotal roles in some of the country's largest demonstrations and worked tirelessly with a variety of civil rights organizations across the United States. Through their artistry and activism, Dee and Davis impacted the lives of thousands of Americans across the country and remain cultural icons to this day. By the 1960s, Ruby and Ossie became increasingly involved in the civil rights movement and worked with numerous civil rights-based organizations, including the NAACP, the Congress of Racial Equality, and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC. Through their pursuit of racial justice, Dee and Davis became close personal friends with both Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. The two played significant roles in protests and demonstrations, including the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where they served as MCs. In 1965, Davis was even chosen to read the eulogy at Malcolm X's funeral. Throughout their lifetime, Mrs. Dee and Mr. Davis were nationally recognized for their contributions to racial justice, civil rights movement, and American performance. The couple was named to the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame in 1989, and in 1995, both were awarded the National Medal of Arts, the nation's highest honor conferred to an individual performer on behalf of the country. In 1994, Davis was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame, while Dee would go on to win a Grammy, Emmy, Obie, and receive the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award. Ossie Davis passed away on February 4th, 2005, and Ruby Dee passed away on June 11, 2014. Dante Show Village, please give it up for this incomparable couple, the iconic Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Those two are legends. I love seeing them in Do the Right Thing. I thought they were phenomenal in Do the Right Thing. But what I really enjoyed watching was Ruby Dee in American Gangster.
You took the words out of my mouth when she slapped Denzel.
Man, when she slapped Denzel with a fire that was birthed within her. She slapped Denzel with everything in
and that was a real slap.
That was
a real slap.
She let him have it. What's up, Sean? What's up, Jacqueline? Thank y'all for joining us on tonight. Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, we love them. We appreciate them. Thank you for just paving the way for so many others. And tonight's show is about not only Black love, but about Black marriage and Black marriage in the Black community. So we're going to unpack that. So I want to just highlight a power couple, Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, to give an example of how this should all look. So now is the time.
Kanye and,
No, not Kim and nobody.
Oh.
I said Black.
I know it was a joke.
Yeah, she ain't nowhere near Black, won't be Black ever. So
what about Erica Kane?
Who? All my children? So now it's time for me to bow out and just give it up for my partner in crime, the phenomenal Dana Dane. It's time for the Dana Drop. Boom.
Yeah. What it do? Yo, Dante keeps messing with me, guys. Pray for me while I'm in this studio, okay? Pray for me, okay? Listen, what's up, beautiful people? I pray that you all are in good spirits and good health during this time. Please, if you haven't done so already, travel over to YouTube /Dante Morrison and click that subscribe button. Click that subscribe button. Get our followers up. Check this out. Got a little something for you. Reasons to love. Do what you love. Reasons to do what you love. It will be challenged. You will be challenged. By stepping out of your comfort zone, you are challenging yourself and leaving what you used to know. It's okay to close some doors along the way and walk and run through the doors that are open for you. Fly through those doors. Never let anybody tell you that you can't. Get out there and do what you love. You will learn new things along the way. If you graduated, most of the time, if you graduate from college, high school, whatever, you're starting a new career. You're learning something new. Having a job doesn't mean you need to stop learning. Learning is a lifelong process. Look at my co-host, Dr. Donta Morrison. And for those of y'all that really know him, it's Dr. Pooh. All right? And you'll meet new people. You'll meet new people along the way. I know there's a lot of times where you got those people that are not people persons or, oh, I'm just here to do this. But some people you really would like to meet. You never know who you're going to run into. Always be on your best. Challenge yourself. Get out there. Wherever you go, you meet new people. Happy, sick, miserable, political, careless, fit, energetic, lazy, motivated, negative. These are all the people that you're going to meet along the way doing what it is that you love. Get out there and do it. You will experience true happiness. It's nothing like doing something that you don't want to do. That is the worst feeling in the world, is doing something that you don't want to do. I encourage you, if you are able and financially able, get out there and do what you love. I wish I could quit my job right now today and do music full time. I wish I could. There will be no, huh?
This is your drop. Go ahead.
Why are you looking at me like that? We like the odd couple today. Oscar and Felix.
Right. Which one are you?
Which Oscar? Oh, Dana drop. So yes, get out there and do what it is that you love to do. Lastly, you will inspire others to change. You will inspire others to change. If someone sees you step out of your comfort zone and do what it is that you love and you want to do, you may click a light on in their system and their body, and they'll be like, you know what? I'm out there and build a house. I'm going to go out there and do whatever it is that I need to do, because you have encouraged them to get up off their lazy tails and do what it is they need to do. Do what it is that you want to do. Be in control of your own destination. Be in control of your life. Never let anybody tell you that you can't. Should I sing?
Sure.
I want to sing for you guys real quick. Yeah. Should I sing this?
Mm-hmm. Sure, why not?
Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. Falling in love with Jesus, yeah. Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I've ever done. Will there be one? In his arms I feel protected. Say, boy! In his arms, never disconnected. In his arms, I feel protected. There's no place I'd rather be. That's the Dana drop, and I'm out. Peace. Nigga, my inbox is on fire already. I didn't.
How you gonna sing gospel and slide away sexy?
What? See what I'm saying, man? Always something.
How you gonna sing gospel and then peace?
I did not do all that. Come on. You know what?
How you go?
Wow, man. You know what? With friends or brothers like Dante.
How you go?
Listen, Thais. With friends like Dante or brothers like Dante, who needs enemies?
I'm just saying.
All you gotta do is, if you want to be felt bad, call him.
I'm just saying.
Dante, how's my shoes? They all right.
You did all this and worshiping and lifting hands and shabaking and then stopped and looked at the screen and smoldered. That's the Dana drop. And then, what was that?
Well, see, that song right there.
Thank you, Thais. It was very Cinemax. It was very.
Thank you, Thais.
After dark.
It was Tyler Perry. Tyler, I know you watching. I know Tyler's watching.
He always watches.
So that was something from Tyler Perry right there.
All right,
That's
y'all. So we're finna get to tonight's conversation because our special guest, is very unapologetic in his approach, and I love following Brian on social media, on his IG page, on Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. Because Brian just says what he says, drops the mic, and walks away.
Out.
Right, period blank. So, Village, help us welcome back. He's done before. Help us welcome back to the Donta Show, the phenomenal Brian Reveals.
What's up? What's up, people?
Brian?
What's going on?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Life is good, man. How y'all doing? Yeah, he was giving me, he was giving me blues for a couple seconds.
Right. I was like, it was cool and all.
Yeah.
You know, your little gospel song.
Yeah, and I see you had that Cinemax exit though. I was like, okay, you doing your thing, brother.
Not too much.
Nobody's gonna see it.
Nobody. So Brian, welcome back to the show, man. Welcome back to the show. We're glad to have you back. Let the folks know a little bit about who you are, where you at, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, it's good to be back. Y'all make this feel like home. So, you know, whoever comes onto the show, you can't stay away for too long. So I appreciate you both for having me back. As Dana mentioned, I am Brian Reveals, host of the Brian Reveals Show. You can catch it on YouTube. You can actually catch it on Facebook. And of course, so many other different places that it's going to be, right? But predominantly Facebook, YouTube, so much more to come. And, you know, check me out. Follow me on those platforms.
Love it, love it, love it. So you said that you want your topic to be, we're going to talk about marriage in the Black community, and we're going to unpack it and we're going to dissect it. And Village, y'all know how we do. Like these comments up about marriage, because I'm sure Brian is going to say some very thought-provoking things that may ruffle some feathers, or he may not. But I can tell you something will be said tonight that's going to make you be like, hey, I agree with that, or hey, I disagree with that. So, Brian, where do you want to start this conversation? We're going to follow your lead, Brian.
Oh, okay. Follow my lead. Okay. Well, you know, as you mentioned about marriage, right? And, you know, for the last week or so, I've been kind of, you know, playing around with some ideas, kind of looking at some, you know, some reasons people are getting married versus not getting married. And focusing more on the decline, you know, and our era that we got, because I know we're men of a particular age, right?
Right.
We ain't in our 20s.
I own it.
Okay, absolutely. We should. We earn the right to be here doing what we're doing now. But my thing is that when we look at why the decline is happening, when we didn't grow up really seeing that, right? We grew up in an era where, at least I know I did, where we saw our grandparents, right? We saw our parents married, and in many cases, right? I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I'm just saying, just in terms of like what I grew up seeing.
Right.
And now it just seems as if it's just a huge departure from that. At least you saw Big Mama, right? You saw uncles, aunts, you saw all of that, but you just don't really see that anymore. So for me, kind of starting off the conversation with why the decline, me looking at the reason why I'm seeing people decline, I don't think women need men anymore. They act like they don't, right? I don't think people feel like they need each other anymore.
Already,
In our community, we have went from being collaborative to competitive. And I don't know how that happened. I'm hoping we can dissect that conversation today, but I just don't really see a lot of people, just wanting to be in union and in sync anymore.
You opened the door, basically talking about, we grew up seeing, we saw, our grandparents, we saw aunts and uncles, we saw marriage in all these different households or whatever. But it's safe to say that many of us in the Black community, we grew up seeing marriage, but we also saw dysfunction. So the nuclear idea of marriage, wife making cookies and wearing an apron all day, husband going to the plant with his lunch and come back home, yeah, that was cute on the surface, but what we really saw was a lot of dysfunction. We saw struggle, we saw problems, we saw fights, we saw other families around the corner that had the same grandfather as us, but we didn't even know them. So we saw a lot of stuff in the Black community when it came to marriage. So is it safe to say, in Village and Thai Squad, jump in where you can, is it safe to say that because we did not get a lot of healthy visuals about marriage, that we don't really know how marriage is supposed to be? What's your thoughts on that?
You see dysfunction, but you also see them get past it in some cases. You also see, the willingness to stay in and fight, because there's not going to be any situation you go to when you're dealing with another human being that is not going to have some level of dysfunction. I think that we like the easy route, and the easy route is you throw your hands up and you walk out. I think that's running away from responsibility. I think it's running away from being accountable. But I think one of the things that I've always noticed is, and my parents got divorced when I was 9. I knew it wasn't my fault because my dad used to take us around other women. Did I say, you know what, maybe I should go do that too? That wasn't my story. Some people may follow that pattern, but my thing is, we always have a choice at the end of the day. What's your choice? That's the question. What is your choice? Not what's your father's or mother's choice. What's yours? Because you've seen everything that you needed to see. Are you responsible and accountable enough to make your own decision?
I agree. I agree with that, and I like what Kyrie Sinaj said. Kyrie said that's true, but a lot of people want a fairy tale. And I think a lot of people want the wedding. They want the elaborate wedding. They want the dress, the tux. They want that whole experience, and they want the pictures that go with it, and they want the video. But then after the wedding comes the marriage, and a lot of people, I think what people misunderstand when they get married is that you're not marrying a man that's already a husband, and you're not marrying a woman that's already a wife. You learn how to be a husband and a wife after you get married, because you're neither before marriage. Before marriage, you're two people dating, but once you get that title, okay, now you're a husband, you need to operate as such. Well, I've never been a husband before. How does a husband act? What does a husband do? Same thing with a woman. I've never been a wife before. What does a woman do? And like you said, they bump those heads as they try to figure out husband and wife. How does husband and wife look in our household? Because they're comparing it to the other households, and then they get a case of that. Well, just forget it. Let's just leave all together, and I'll start over with somebody else. So I don't know. I think the dynamic of marriage right now, unfortunately, what we're seeing divorce like it's nothing. People are getting divorced, faster than they're getting married. Last night we talked about Lena Waithe, and Cynthia Erivo. Lena was with her girlfriend for like 5, 6, 7 years and got married, and was married for less than 6 months, divorced her, and then is now with Cynthia Erivo. And it's like, well, what you get married for? Why don't you even waste the time to get married?
Okay, but that's a shit lesbian. Excuse me. That's what lesbians do. So we got to give them a pass because they in and out in 2 seconds.
But we we don't want to generalize. I have a lot of lesbian friends that are in very long-term relationships. We don't want to generalize. So, but touche. So I'm just saying. So let me see. Nicole said Ayana told one couple on her show that they prepared for the wedding, but not the marriage. Yes. Yeah, they prepared for the wedding, but not the marriage. We spend 2 or 3 years saving up $100,000 to have this wedding to impress all these folks that think we're not gonna last anyway. They sitting there looking like these two is not gonna stay married. Beautiful wedding, beautiful gown, great food, but they'll be divorced in 2 or 3 years. So Brian, okay, so what needs to be done? Or do you think anything needs to be done?
You know what? You made a point that I want to go back to. You said that nobody learns how to be a husband or a wife or a spouse coming into the marriage. I am of the, I don't want to use the word belief. I am of the observation that I think that you first of all, you have, in order to be, selected or chosen for that role, that's how you have to show up. That's how you have to show up. And how do you do that? You prepare yourself for that. And I'll give you an example. If I was wanting to get married, for example, I'm out hanging out all kinds of the night, coming in 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, drunk every day. Yes, I'm saying that I want that, but I'm not showing my potential spouse or potential person that I want to marry that I'm capable of those qualities. So I have to show up being that. So I can expect it, I can set boundaries for it, and I can move into that space. It's an easy transition for my partner. Go
ahead. I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
So if I'm not already acting in that particular capacity, then it's going to be much more difficult for someone to recognize that I have those qualities. Now, everybody isn't prepared for that, which is why maybe the divorce rate is 50%. Maybe that's why people are not getting married, because of that expectation. They don't know how to be that. And you know how some people say, let's say, for example, if you want someone that's like, fitting in the gym and you want that, you gotta be what you want. Same scenario.
Yeah, I agree with you a little bit, but I think that what happens is people put on the front and the facade of being that, and then once they get married and that, I got the person, then they turn into their real self, and that could be the reason for the divorce as well. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be this, because like you said, this is what you're supposed to be, showing these attributes, showing all of this stuff, but that's not really you. You're doing that because you want the other person to believe that's you. But then when you get married, it's like, now I got you. I'm about to do what I've already been doing. So It's almost like you pulling a slip over somebody's eyes. I'd rather for someone to be themselves. And if that's not the person for you, then go find somebody for you.
I think that ties into what Kyrie just said. Yeah. We were talking about Lena Waithe and her girlfriend. Kyrie said, but she knew who she married.
Exactly.
Referring to Lena's ex-wife. Lena is who she is. A ring doesn't change anyone.
Exactly.
However, I was thinking about what Brian was talking about. Well, if I'm out drinking and smoking and all that, some people have it in their mind, he'll change after we get married. He's getting it all out of his system right now. Or my love is strong enough to change him and to make him want to change into who I need him to be for me. It's like, why are you putting all that pressure on somebody else? And just let Brian be who Brian is. If that's not who you want, move on, because Brian gonna drink with or without you. Not Brian, but Brian gonna live his life with or without you. But I like what David just said. David said, you're also not showing yourself that you're capable of being in a committed relationship. It all starts with you. And I when I read that in David's voice, real calm. David's our calm, real tranquil.
Yeah.
You're not showing yourself that you're committed. I love me some David.
Hey, can I get a glass?
Right, but that's real talk. That's real talk. It's all about you. But I want to get up to Williams Twins, make this comment. I'm sorry, go ahead. Paul said, relationships, there's no real love in them, because if it was, it wouldn't be so easy to walk away. Let me see. I think that real love, I'm gonna go back to that. I want to get Williams Twins comments real quick. Talking about where is it at? It's right above. Yeah. I also believe that the current generations look for perfection, someone to make them whole, and or walk in with the state of mind that I can always divorce and start over. Either way, none of these reasons are realistic reasons to marry someone. Yes, don't marry someone to make you whole. You should be whole before you get married. You should be whole before you meet this person. Be whole in the midst of dating. Be whole before you walk down the aisle. Don't look for nobody else to make you whole. So back to Paul. Whole.
Whole?
Whole.
Oh, don't make them whole. I thought you said don't look for nobody to make you whole. Okay.
Paul said, talk about these relationships, there's no real love. And I think that's kind of, people got to know what real love is. I think before we say there is no real love, I think it would be better to say there's no healthy love. Because to me, I could really be in love. And it could look toxic as all get out from the outside, but for me it is real love. I'm really in love with this person. It may not be the best kind of love, it may be horrible, it's not the kind of love you would be in if you was with the person I was with. Well, I wouldn't be with them. Well, you're not with them, so don't worry about it. So I just think that was just me. I'm not pushing back hard, Paul. I'm just saying when it comes to real love, sometimes we interject ourselves in people's relationships and situations and tell them, well, I wouldn't be with that person. Well, you're not with that person. And we don't know what makes them happy. They may love being in drama and all that. And somebody that's drama free, they might be kind of bored. So that's just my take on that. Brian?
Yeah. A couple things. Number one, the one thing that a person can't fake are patterns. And if you're not paying close enough attention to that, that's why you end up, or a person may end up in situations where they may say, oh, I missed that. I didn't know that was good. No, you were not paying attention. That's what you got to own. The other thing is that, to go back to, what Paul said about how a lot of these relationships, or in many of them, there's not any real love in them because it wouldn't be so easy to walk away. This is why we really got to be present with that person before you make a decision to say either yes or you pursue the person for a relationship. So the capacity of love has to exist on some level before you can give yourself permission to fall in love with them. So that's one of the things that, if I have a conversation with someone about this, be in love with the person before you make a serious commitment to be involved with them, right? Because I think a lot of times we think that it's these relationships come in some sort of sequential check the box kind of a thing, but it's really, we know it doesn't operate like that. But the one thing that we cannot control is our emotions and how we feel about someone to some degree. But I think if there's a huge affinity for someone, that's your indication that it's something deeper there for you to explore to protect yourself, because you got to do that too.
And there's also people out there that just love the idea of being in love. They just want to say I love somebody, or just want to say somebody loves me. So even if I say, I love you and my love is toxic, you just glad somebody saying I love you. And then going back to what Kyrie said, if they love drama, they need some couch time. And I'm gonna be transparent. That used to be me. I was a person that loved drama because I was always in dramatic relationships. Every single relationship prior to my current one was filled with drama and buffoonery and violence and cursing and tables flipping and bottles being broke on the sidewalk and chasing them down the street and
wow.
Yes, it was what I was used to. It was no, I wish. It was my norm. It was the norm. So I figured that if there is no kind of to it, then it's not no love. If we ain't cussing each other out, if we ain't fighting, if we ain't clawing, if we ain't acting a fool up in the club, if we ain't doing all this kind of stuff, then it's not love. So my idea of love, that was like Paul, that was my real love. I was really in love. And Paul would be like, but Dante, that's not love. I wouldn't be with that person. Abuse. Well, Paul, you ain't with that person. And I loved it and they love me. So give me a steak for this eye. That type of stuff. It was love. So yeah, I agree, Kyrie. There is some couch time needed, and I did my couch time to unpack, how I perceived love and what I thought love was, because it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy, But I think David says something that's key: silent expectations. Everyone brings in silent expectations to a relationship that we assume our partner will honor. And then we get frustrated with the other person for not meeting those expectations.
Exactly.
The problem is we forgot to have a discussion about these expectations. Listen, if you walk in being a mute and expecting somebody to read your mind to know how to love you, that's on you, not on the other person. Not on the other person.
Another thing, Dante, is it's up to us to probe that person as well, because everybody's not going to tell you everything. Everybody's not going to volunteer everything for you. You got to be Inspector Gadget and go in there and just figure it out, figure out what questions to ask. And see, for me, the red flag is, when I'm getting to know someone in the beginning, and when someone says to me, what is this, an interview? I'm done. I'm out. Hang up the phone. That's it for me, because my thing is, it's not going to stop there. I need to know who I'm dealing with. I got to invest in myself so I can know if you are appropriate for me.
Right.
So that's another
thing.
I
think the problem is, I want to ask this question to the village and to the squad. How many of you out there have ever been scared to really investigate a person, throughout the courting phase? Brian is like, yo, let's talk. Let's get to know each other. Let's have conversations. And I like how David talked about those silent expectations. How many of you out there are really vocal about your expectations and are not scared to really sit with this person? Because I know sometimes we may meet the perfect individual. They got the body, they got the look, they got the smile, they got the breath. Everything about them is just wonderful. But you're scared to ask those questions that may turn you off. You're scared to ask those questions that may be like, God dang it, you were everything, but oh man, how many of you have ever gone through that, or you're in that space where you're just really nervous about digging deeper because you don't want to run the person away? No, David, not Google search or hire a private investigator, or call Nair from Catfish. Like when you're on a date with somebody, having that table conversation and you're asking questions is not just surface fluff, Oh, you like your steak cooked medium well? Oh my God, me too. That's so cute. Let's get married.
But when do you ask those questions?
First
when do you
date?
have those conversations? No.
First date.
Come on, man.
First date.
I say in the beginning, because one of them for me is, do you snore?
Oh, we couldn't be together.
No, that deal breaker. Check. I'm out.
We couldn't be together. Sorry. You be up all night.
Oh.
I'll be like, baby.
If I wanted to be with that person, would you suggest things for them to try to stop snoring?
Get a CPAP machine.
No, you should already want that, though. Why would you want to keep somebody up?
Because my snoring does not bother me.
What if they say I snore, but I have, a mouthpiece, or I have,
a CPAP? I can work with a CPAP.
My snoring does not bother me. I sleep well. I don't even know I snore because I'm asleep. I wouldn't know I'm snoring to you because you told me in the morning, hey, Dante, yo.
Until we come over and see animals and stuff at the window that you are called with all of them damn. Hey, Eddie, what, y'all got a squirrel in here now?
I'm just saying. But I think there are certain questions that we cannot be scared to. And I think family history is important. I need to know what's up with your lineage. What's up with your bloodline? Is there mental health issues in your family? Anybody in your family went through this kind of stuff? I think it's important. No, Carrie, that's not true. I think there's a lot of gays, lesbian, transgender, all that really want to have intimate conversations with the individual before they have sex. And please don't think that the straights is not trying to get in the bedroom without conversation. Straights do it too. Thais, the problem is people try to be Ayanla. You're not about to psychoanalyze me a P.F. Chang's.
Exactly, because I'm hungry.
So, Thais, I can buy some lettuce wraps and we have real deep conversations about your past experiences.
And he gonna say no.
No, where to go. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. Keep putting these questions. We're going to come to this commercial break and look at some of these comments. I see Pam gave a comment. Pam. What's up, Danton? How you doing? I see that, but nothing about P.F. Chang's. Thanks, Thais. We got to go. So we're going to take this quick break. Be right back. Stay tuned.
It's a Friday. Now look.
So this week, I want to talk.
You are here on the link. That's right.
You mamas, greetings. It is her.
We're going to take a trip down Batty Boulevard and bring you.
Is there such a thing as acting too black?
These are your gorgeous earrings that come with the set. So
We are back with round two on the second half of the Donta show, and then so people are saying all kinds of stuff about what Pam said. What if they lie and they are so wonderful, then they change and then they start hitting you?
Right.
I mean, and those are red flags that you probably won't see in the beginning.
Abusive?
No, I'm not abusive. No more. I'm self-defensive.
I'll have to check on my cousin.
I'm self-defensive.
If he got any bruises on his back or
but
something.
I'm just saying, I mean, and so I think that's a good point. Certain red flags you won't see. So I mean, you really can't know if you're sitting with a serial killer.
Right.
You know if you're sitting down eating with Dexter or something like that. You just really don't know. So I think that yeah, Pam, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Now the thing is getting out of those abusive situations, and that's a whole nother show, because sometimes that can be hard to do because you're so engulfed with that person, whether it's economically, you've been isolated from your whole family. It's a lot of reasons people are trapped in abusive relationship. Right. Kathy Bates in Misery. You done got hobbled, in this relationship. So it's a lot of reasons why people can be stuck in abusive situations. I remember when I was in one, people were always like, well, you should just leave. And go where? Where am I gonna go? Where am I? Can I come stay with you? Oh, well, you know what I mean? I ain't got no room. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's the trip. Brian, what else you want to add to this, fam?
So for me, there's always red flags, right? If they got a bunch of cats, that's a red flag.
I have allergies.
Allergies and a couple of other things. No, I'm kidding.
No, I had a friend that had a cat named Beauty, and I was like, I'm never going in your house ever, because that cat would be outside homeless.
But you know what? That's a good point. Red flags. For me, this is why I always pay attention to just kind of behaviors, right? Because I think there are signals and there are behavioral cues that will let you know everything that you need to know, and see it through, see the investigation. And generally with abuse, because I grew up in an abusive household, yes, it escalates, but it's generally not something that's out of the blue. There are things that a person does to alienate you from your protectors, meaning your family. They start to move you away. They start to become possessive. There's radical mood swings. So because I grew up in an abusive household, I'm able to determine those things. And, at the first sign of any level of discomfort, be able to talk it out. And if the person's unwilling to do so, then you have to protect yourself. So, and that's it. That's whether it's abusive or not. Sometimes abuse can be emotional. It's not necessarily physical. Right. Sometimes it can be psychological.
And it can be financial. As well. Financial abuse always gets overlooked. There's a lot of folks out there that are going broke behind these relationships. You're being financially abused. I mean, it's like you said, hitting is one thing, that's way over here, but that financial part and that emotional part, all those are just as serious, and we gotta take it seriously. But I want to go back to the dating, dating and marriage. People say there should be no time limit to how long you date before you get married. If you dated for a month and say, this is the one, let's get married. Or you date for 10, 15 years and say, okay, now we're ready to get married. I don't think there should be a time frame on how long a person courts or gets to them before they date. However, I do think that after a certain time frame, I think it's different for women. I think women have an expectation that after a certain time, there needs to be a ring on the finger, So women, my question to you, how long will you date a guy before you expect to get married? That's my question to you. And fellas, how long will you date someone before you say, you know what, maybe I should lock this one down? You know. Yeah, J. Rochelle, yes, financial abuse, it is real. There's physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse. A lot of elderly people experience financial abuse, you know, because they got their grandkids all in their social security check and all that kind of stuff. So it happens. Financial abuse is real. So yeah, so how long would you date somebody before you expect this to go to another level? J. Rochelle said no longer than a year. After a year, something needs to happen. If you ain't proposed, put a ring on it, locked it down after a year, then what do? Do you leave? You know, Kyrie, would you leave? You know, within 6 months. Within 6 months, this is the one. If it doesn't happen, do you give an ultimatum to somebody? Is it Brian? You would do that? You would give an ultimatum?
Well, first, I would say that since you don't really know anyone until you live with them, I'd have to live with you for at least a month.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So you believe
minimum.
But you gonna still keep your spot while you live with them, or how you gonna do this?
No. Both of us are living together now. I could keep my own place, but no. The goal is for us to be living together for at least a year. And I think right at I'm older, right? So it's not gonna take me long. My thing is, I would know within a year of us living together that let's make the next move, and I do it.
Okay, because my thing with that, you give up your stuff, they give up their stuff, then now y'all cohabitating. Then if it don't work out, we're now locked into this. It's / not /. Then we're locked into this, this contract, this lease or something. And what do we do now? I don't like you no more. You don't like me no more. I want to go. We break this lease. Our credit is bad. What do we do?
Well, I was in that before, so. We broke up, well, I think 8 months before 9 months. 10? I think it was 9. Yeah, we broke up like 9 months when left in the lease. And me, I'm like,
you had 9 months.
Who can stay mad at me, right?
I mean, look at that face.
Come on. I think we went to we did a lot. We did a lot after we broke up, and we stayed together. We operated as roommates, and we were both respectful. We didn't bring anybody to our home, and it was a clean split.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think. Okay. All right. Who on the page can do that? Who on the page can shift it all to a roommate situation and let's just make this happen, and then at the end of this lease, I'll go my way, you go your way. Are you and that person still friends?
We're friendly, but see, we wasn't gonna give up we had a nice apartment, but we wasn't trying to give that up.
I got it.
We had a very nice place. We were like, okay, let's tough it out. We good.
I got it.
So how did you handle that? I mean, at any point in time, did you come home and see that person and just be like?
When I chose to come home, no, I was still doing me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Fantasia.
Yeah, I was still doing me, but I wasn't disrespectful to a home that we built together, right?
No.
If I knew I was going to be away, I'd say, I'm not going to be here for the next couple of days. I'll be back Tuesday, and then that's what it was, just out of respect,
So you broke up with boundaries.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
And there wasn't no smashing, like no coming out of the shower. You like, oh God,
nah.
I forgot about you, and we still not together, but
no.
Okay.
Because
I can read people's faces. You're lying.
No, let me tell you something. Like with Scorpios, when we break, we break. Like when we shut it down, it's nothing. Like I can't go back to an ex. And my thing is like when I shut it off, I don't have anything for you. Not anything romantic. We could be, like I said, friendly. But I'm not ready to rehash nothing.
Got it. Good question, Jonathan. Jonathan asks, for that individual with a battery of questions on the first or second date, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable with this person, how would you know if their intentions are not malicious?
Thank you.
That's a good, that's a good question. I mean,
they can get all the information and don't call you no more.
Because they figured out you ain't the one.
No, but they got all your info and going and probably.
Well, you're not giving them your social security number and tax ID and all that kind of stuff.
But they can hate.
I mean, that's a valid question, Jonathan, but I think there are some core questions that could fairly be asked on a first or second date. If the person is not willing to answer those questions, it would raise my eyebrows. I'm like, why can't we talk about this? I think someone up top asked, so how, are you close to your family? Why is my family? Whoa, okay, slow down, Turbo. Do you have any siblings? Why? Why you want to know all that? Okay, this may not be the conversation, or this may not be the one. Because if we're getting to know each other, I want to get to know you, and I'm asking you things. Hopefully, you're asking me things in return. To me, that's problematic. If I'm asking you all about you and you're not asking me nothing, okay, either you're not that into me or you only have one thing on your mind.
Or what if they just want to learn as they go?
Nah, You need to know something about me. Learn as you go. Where we gonna go?
Learn that you're behind an E.
And that I snore.
Yeah.
That's something right after the first date. So Donta, you snore? Yep.
Check. Oh God, Team Holy Ghost in the building. Look at Thais.
Look at the right. Do you believe in
God?
God?
Team Holy Ghost.
That's a serious question. What is your religious beliefs? Are you spiritual? Are you Christian? Are you atheist? For some, that's a deal breaker.
You go to church or have church at home.
Right, you go to church.
Or is the church in your heart?
That's a deal breaker for some. So I think that is a valid question.
Yeah.
For me, that's a valid question. Another one, who would you vote for in the last presidential election?
Oh my God.
There's a lot of closet Trumpers out there. It's a lot of them out there, and I'm not finna bundle up with no Trumper. Sherman says, should you tell your HIV status from the first date? Sherman, that's a good question, because I did a show earlier today with my staff. If you go to my page,
we talked about this before.
And look, earlier today, we did a conversation about that. Should you tell your HIV status? I think that lines up with, are you planning on being intimate with that person on the first date? Because that's very sensitive, and some people will take that and they'll run with it. They might tell all your business, but it also depends on how comfortable you are with your HIV status. But if you ain't trying to smash or don't see this going to any kind of level of intimacy, then there's no relevance in that. But I do need to know what your FICO score is on the first date.
And colon cleanse. If you like to have a colon cleanse,
right. What's your FICO score? John said one on YouTube said, should a marriage have split bank accounts? Yeah. 100%.
I think you should have split and
joint.
One joint.
Yep.
Together.
Mine, yours, ours.
Yep.
Mine, yours, ours. And you put all yours into ours. Wow. Yeah, I definitely think they should be.
What is Woody's and Phillips?
Yeah, split. That's barbecue. That's barbecue places.
From out. See,
you wouldn't work.
Woody's over there on Woody's off of Florence.
Yeah, Woody's barbecue and Phillips barbecue. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those are good. So yeah, on a first date, I think there are some questions, because you're talking about building a relationship with this person. Where are you trying to go with this person? And I know that on the first date, it's all about the optics of this individual,
right.
Because you saw them, they took your breath away, and you glide across the stage into their arms. So I think that's important. But I think that when it comes to dating, leading up to marriage, we need to be more intentional in our conversations that lead up to marriage. So we got 5 minutes left on the show. Brian, what do you want to say just with 5 minutes? How do you want to put a bow on this marriage conversation for the Black community?
Wow. I think we need to reinvest in it. I was reading something in Black Enterprise the other day, and it mentioned by the year 2053, the net worth of the Black community is going to fall to zero. That means a little 2 cents that we have right now is basically non-existent. And that's looking at us as a culture. And it's going to be much worse for a lot of people. Our only chance at sustaining what we have and having an opportunity to turn things around is if we increase the opportunity for wealth, which is in this country through marriage. I know a lot of people are operating in an independent space. I know that Black men, we're doing our thing. Black women are graduating from the biggest group of graduates in this country. But all of those things are great, but they're not effective in the long-term strategy, which I think is through marriage. What I would like to challenge people to do is to think about how we are approaching the institution. It is your institution to have. Nothing has to be as in the box as you know, some of the prior examples that we've seen, that we've been exposed to, and you get to rewrite your history of what you are, you know, expecting when it comes to relationships and marriage. So I would challenge, whether it's an SGO marriage, whether it's a heterosexual marriage, whether it's a poly marriage or institution, we have to come together in an intimate space where we can, you know, have this strategy to build wealth, so we can circulate it back into our community. So that's what I got.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, give me your social media handles one more time.
Oh,
how can they find you on social media?
Okay, so how do you find me on social media? Thank you again, Dana. Thank you again, Donta, for having me on the show today. I am Brian Reveals. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in the Brian Reveals Show. You could also type that into YouTube. I just finished my first season, 10 episodes. It's a lot of content there. I talk about things like this, so many other different subjects. I have guests on the show. We have fun, we laugh, we learn, we educate ourselves, and we enlighten and inspire others. I'm also a psychic, low key. I didn't want to just throw that out there, but I just started a Patreon for that reason specifically. I've helped a lot of people. I'm not one of these sham, scam artists. My talent is the real deal. I like to help people, but in order for me to grow and invest back into that platform and into that specific offering that I give my followers and my audience, I have it for that reason. So yes, you can check me out on patreon.com/The Brian Reveals Show. You could also check me out on my website, brianreveals.com.
Thanks, fam. Thanks, fam. Thanks, fam. I love having Black conversations with strong Black individuals. So, you know, we're going to get you back on the show again for another round of this conversation. So everybody give it up for Brian Reveals. 60 seconds, Dana, close us out.
Hey, you know what? Check this out. Before we get out of here, we got to spread love.
Instead of spreading lies,
we got to spread love.
Instead of spreading lies,
follow me on Instagram at DNA716, DNA716. You can see what I'm doing musically. I have some little jokes and stuff on there. And again, I'm moving silent, so I may not post everything, but some stuff is coming. Listen. Make sure you check on people, send them an email, send them a text message, even if you think they're doing all right. This pandemic is not over. Wash your hands, be safe, wear your mask, tell somebody you love them today, because the next minute is not promised. We love you.
Follow me on Instagram, Donta_Morrison, Donta_Morrison. Village, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with us since the beginning. You've always been on our site. We appreciate you so much. Shout out to the Thai Squad for coming on over here and rocking with us on tonight. So, yo, have a safe week. Have a blessed week. Have a productive week. And we will see y'all next Monday right here on Facebook Live and YouTube, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay safe and God bless. Good night.
Peace.